All right, challenge 2. So this is the biology strand, and really this is pretty straightforward and pretty simple. We have a textbook. It's the third edition, Exploring Creation with Biology, and it's pretty thick. I'll just hit this right away. This is a lot. If you notice the new books, whether it be physical science, biology, or physics, or chemistry, and challenge 3, stuff like that. It's a lot. It's to me, it's a college level book. But the thing with CC is you can tailor this to what you need. So with Rachel going through this, and then Noah this year, I've had a little bit of experience of, at least with my kids, what kind of what to focus on, what to do. I got knock this out the way too. You don't have to get this science lab journal from CC. It's great. You can just get something that you can draw in. You're mainly going to be drawing and labeling things, but you do need a lab science journal of some sort. So please get one of those, whatever style you want. Definitely need the book, and if there's any other resources, you're welcome to get, but just at least get the textbook. And for challenge 2, we go through one module. It takes 2 weeks to go through one module. And what I do in class is I go through the grammar, the dialectic, and the rhetoric stage. So wherever your student is with science or biology, first of all, you're going to know the definitions and terms of everything. And this is just an example with module 4. We would go through ingestion, digestion, respiration, what these are. And this is like cell structure and function. So we would define what a cell is, the different parts of a cell, things they would do. So we'd go from the grammar stage up to the rhetoric stage. And if your kid just excels in biology, to be able to share these things, what they've learned. And like I said, the modules, it takes 2 weeks to go through each module. There's just a ton of information. So I suggest at least get the terminology down, the definitions of different things, now how they work, and all the functions, and all that. That's up to you as a parent of how deep you want to go. In my weekly emails, I put 2 or 3 things that we focus on. So the first half of the modules, say for week 3 or 4, or whatever it is, I'll put down, focus on the cell, the parts, and we're going to talk about what each part does. And then I put something else in there and talk about that, usually something with the lab. And again, we do labs generally 1 a week. There's the exception where we don't do a lab, but we do a lot of labs. And so we're using microscopes, we're doing dissections, we're doing strawberry DNA stuff, and I provide all that. Your supply fee has paid for the supplies that I'll get. But sometimes students bring in stuff like pond water or flowers or mold or things like that. That's a little extra. But I'll supply the labs and stuff like that. So half of our time in the biology strand is mainly labs, but then I try to fit in at least a couple concepts per week with each thing. So, and the actual lab is in your book. So you have labs that we'll do Mondays, and what I ask you to do is at least read the labs before we do. And again, this will be in my email. Read the labs. The student shall read the labs. Sometimes it's best even to write it all out. This is a lot to write, but at least write down the procedures. The reason why is the student needs to know a little bit before we get into the lab of what we're doing. I find out a lot of times the student hasn't read or even looked at it, and we get to the kitchen or the lab and they're just they're in a daze. They don't know they're not prepared to do what we're doing the lab. And we have not limited time, but we don't have all the time in the world to do these labs. So the more prepared your student is, the better, and the more they'll get out of this. So please have them read the labs. You can have them write it. Writing is even better, but have them do that. And what else can I say about this? Yeah, it's a lot. So, but it's a lot of fun. The labs are a lot of fun. and especially second semester when we do dissections and things like that. So recap is third edition of biology, exploring creation with biology. And if you need a science, definitely get a journal of some sort. You can get this or something else just to be able to draw in. Doesn't have to be graph paper necessarily, but something they can draw and label in. And then lastly, last year they had, if you can see my computer screen, they had a teacher doing the biology that was with this book. It was a test, and so us directors and I think other people could get it for free. I don't know if they had that for free, but there's an option to buy. I would have to find out the information to get the biology videos. They're really good. She does a really good job explaining things, and she's actually on whatever platform, Zoom or whatever, with her students, so they're interacting with her and stuff like that. But she's teaching the biology book, and it goes along with ours. It's the same one, and each week, so you can plug in week 4 or whatever, and it's what we're doing. So that's an option, and I can find out more information about that. But that's biology. One of my big rules is safety in our labs, because we do use tools and knives and things like that. So, but I'll give more direction for the students in that. But in a nutshell, that's that. We do a lot of labs, and the information really falls on the parents to be able to teach, even though we do go over a lot of things. I play biology Jeopardy a lot, so them knowing the terms and a lot of the definitions will help in that. So I try to make it a little bit more fun. All right. I believe that's it. Let me know if you have any questions.